This is RSN, Rangers Sports Network, presented by Progressive. It is baseball time in Texas.
And a swing and a miss. Back it goes. Get out. Let's go back to back to back. It is gone. Southside. Stand up. And the Rangers have won it in the bottom of the ninth. Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of gets you excited about this series. The Rangers back home here in the America Dream City. Rangers baseball presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Opening game in this three-game series, Rangers and White Sox, a couple of first-place teams, just like we saw when we were in Atlanta. And the Rangers today giving the ball to Jacob deGrom. Ridiculously good numbers against the White Sox. Those 27 strikeouts and 3 career starts, that's a total of 20 innings pitched. So he's been dominant against the Southsiders in his career. All right, welcome in, everybody. Great to have you along with us this afternoon, rather this evening. What the heck? I'm Dave Raymond. He's David Murphy, and we're ready to go for game one of this series. I mentioned both teams in first place in their respective divisions. Slim leads right now in their divisions, but it's a huge series against the White Sox.
Yeah, and two first-place teams that are two pretty evenly matched. And as we take a look at our TXU power stats, check out those records. White Sox 6 games above 500, Rangers 1 game above 500. The division leads, runs per game, White Sox with a little edge there, and the ERA. So it should be a close series. And speaking of ERA, how about Jacob deGrom and his ERA at home this season? 8 starts at home. He has been dynamite here at Globe Life Field. 4-1 record, 46 2/3 innings. There's that ERA, 2.51. League average on strikeout rate, right about 20%, a little higher, 33% here at home. So if the Rangers looking to go up against a first-place team and start a winning streak, deGrom is your guy.
All right, great way to start the homestand. Huge game tonight. Now, on the offensive side, Wyatt Langford has been really good since coming off the IL. He's leading this offense, and he's in the spotlight with Laura when we come back. Rangers baseball on RSN is presented by Progressive Insurance. A grand slam for your budget. Visit progressive.com. By Amazon. Spend less on your kids for back to school. And by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers.
The Rangers return to Texas for the first of 3 against the White Sox after a messy loss yesterday in Atlanta. But one of their key young players picked up right where he left off before the break. As we bring you down to field level here in Texas, I'm Laura Stickles. Back in 2023, when Wyatt Langford was drafted, you heard time and time again about the kind of cornerstone franchise player that he could be. And over the last month or so, you're starting to see why he's really stepping into those shoes. Jake Berger said, "This is the kind of Wyatt we know, and this is the kind of Wyatt we need." And his numbers over the last month and a half since he came off that IL the first time from that forearm strain, they show you why. He has been one of this team's best players over that stretch, but more importantly, guys, he is coming through in some of the biggest moments. Skip Schumacher says he has that ability to keep his heart rate low and deliver big hit after big hit. And guys, those moments are the type of moments that cornerstone and franchise players deliver on. And right now, Wyatt's showing that he is up for that task.
Yeah, I was talking about him over the weekend. He's my guy for the second half. I feel like he's really going to take a big step and put this team on his shoulders offensively. Well, there's Jacob deGrom. We talked about how good he's been at home. He's your sole starting pitcher tonight. Just past the 100 innings pitched marker. 18 starts for him overall. 122 strikeouts. Those are tied for 8th in the American League. He loves his fastball and slider combination. That slider at 36%, highest usage among American League starters. Changeup and curveball as well.
All right, well, he gets a good test today from the Chicago White Sox. The Trajan Wealth starting lineup today for Will Venable and these White Sox has Sam Adenachi leading it off in left field. Murataka Murakami, the first baseman, batting second, and then it's Miguel Vargas. Colson Montgomery, Andrew Benintendi, and Kyle Teal in the middle. Braden Montgomery, Peters, and Chase Meidroth at the bottom of the order. It is a slugging White Sox team. And we know when we talked just the other day with well, Eovaldi, he had trouble with a home run in Atlanta, and deGrom has had some troubles with a home run as well. He's given up 16 of them. That'll be something to keep an eye on today as Adenachi fouls one off, and it's 1-1. Left-handed hitter Adenachi at .281 for the year with 7 home runs. But he is the high-octane table setter for this lineup. Gets on base better than 37% of the time, and he can run. He's got an intensity to him. 2-1 to count. Ground delivers. That's just a little bit off. 3 balls and a strike. So Jacob in danger of putting that lead man on here tonight to begin the ball game. Big breath. 38-year-old right-hander winds it up again. Here it comes, and it's fouled away. deGrom, we talk a lot about the strikeouts, 122 of them this year in 100 innings. 22 walks. That's an absurdly low number, especially relative to those strikeouts. Almost a 6-to-1 ratio, strikeouts to walk. So even though he was down 3-1 in the count, he's battled his way back. Payoff on the way, and fouled off again by Adenachi. Tim Heller, an 8th pitch in this at bat.
He seems like he's just a tough out, just battling. You know, the smart money would say stick with the fastball. He's fouled off a bunch of those. We'll see if deGrom decides to go with anything different.
3-2. Oh, that did not miss by a whole lot. And Adenachi will take the free pass.
And here's the defense tonight for the Rangers. Typical outfield, especially against a right-handed starter. Langford, Carter, and Nimmo. Josh Young and Duran on the left side. Lopez and Berger on the right side. Elias Diaz will be the catcher for Jacob deGrom tonight.
So Adenachi with the lead. He has 13 steals. And first pitch swinging, Murakami rips it down into the right field corner. Adenachi into third. They'll throw up the stop sign there. It's a double for Murakami, and the White Sox have set up shop in the first.
Well, Murakami's done extremely well against the fastball this year, which is why he gets a first pitch slider, but that thing's in the middle. And Murakami says, I'll square that thing up also. 107 off the bat. Puts the White Sox in a second and third situation here in the first.
So 2 men in scoring position. And now Vargas, 21 home runs this year. And he swings through the slider, strike 1. Well, it's funny to keep showing those notes. Adenachi leads All-American League rookies in runs scored. Vargas with a 66 runs scored, one of the leaders. And that's the thing, these Sox, They're scoring a ton of runs. They're hitting a lot of homers. And 3 guys in a row here, Murakami, Vargas, and Montgomery, all 20 or more home runs. A little bit low, 2-1. How about these numbers right here? Second in runs scored, top 5 slug, home runs, OPS. That's fouled away. The one thing that I thought was so curious were the very few double plays. So often you'll hear people say, like, oh, you know, this team, they hit into a lot of double plays. It just so happens those teams are usually some of the better offensive teams. It's because they have so many base runners. These guys, they hit everything in the air. 2-2, fouled back. But they hardly hit into any double plays. And for a team scoring all those runs and having all those base runners and whatnot, that's a pretty wild accomplishment.
I guess either hitting the ball in the air or striking out.
Well, that's true. They do strike out a lot.
That'll help you from a double play standpoint. Maybe not a runners in scoring position standpoint.
Another foul ball. Vargas a little pesky here as well. That's a 7th foul ball already in this first inning by these White Sox hitters. So for Jacob deGrom, his last start July 7th against the Angels. And he left that game after 5 innings. Missed his next start with that hip impingement. It's been a while. The 2-2. And we'll get a challenge. Diaz will ask for some computerized help here. The ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. It was called a ball. It looked low. It was. So Rangers lose one of their 2 challenges already.
Yeah, I thought that was a worthy challenge. I'm surprised that it ended up that far below the strike zone. I thought if it was not a strike, that would have been really close.
A very big 3-2 pitch and fouled off again. And Vargas, for him now, this would be a 9-pitch at bat. deGrom, no doubt well aware of his first inning struggles. 9.50 ERA in the first. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out Vargas, and that is his first, and it is a big strikeout.
Yeah, you've got guys on second and third. You got a guy that's been battling you, and he's been great with the fastball this year, or against the fastball, excuse me, has Vargas. But Jacob says, here's 100. See if you can turn this around.
There you see that strikeout rate, 24% for the White Sox. And Colson Montgomery, the batter here, he strikes out a ton. 127 strikeouts this season for Montgomery. Well, this is a guy who, going back to last year, about this time last year, one of the toughest hitters in the league. Bounces it to first. Berger to the plate. They get Adenachi in a rundown, and this time Young will run Adenachi out of the baseline and then tag him out for the second out of the inning. Young yesterday was in a critical rundown in Atlanta and got juked a little bit. This time he wasn't about to make that mistake.
Berger gets a perfect hop right to him. Nice one-hopper. Sets his feet, makes a good throw. And now the rundown is on, and there you go. Josh Young, you talk about making a guy commit. Great job right there. Diaz starts it. Young puts on the burners. Well, Antonacci, nothing he could do about it. And now Jacob deGrom is just 1 out, getting out of this away from getting out of this first inning.
Deals with Andrew Benintendi. And that first pitch is off the plate for a ball. Benintendi at 243 for the year with 10 homers. Never had a hit off Jacob. That was a big out. See if deGrom can finish off the inning. It's over 20 pitches in the first. And that is outside. 2-0. Murakami at third, Colson Montgomery at second via the fielder's choice. And there's a pop-up. Third base side. Foul ground. Young is there, and he makes the catch. The inning is over, and a great job by DeGrom. Got into a little bit of trouble, but posts a 0 in the first, and now it's the Rangers' turn. Back home, and they'll start it off with Jock Peterson leading it off. Wyatt Langford right after him, and then Josh Young coming up in the first.
Get up to $280.
Well, great job by DeGrom to navigate that first inning, and now here come the Rangers. Rangers 50-49, 100th game of the season. The Trajan Wealth starting lineup has Jock Peterson DHing in the top spot, Wyatt Langford at left, Josh Young at third base. Then it's Nemo, Berger, and Ezekiel Duran in the middle of the lineup. Carter in center, Diaz does the catching, and Nicky Lopez at second base bats ninth.
Eric Fetty will be the starter for the White Sox. He's bounced back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen. He's pitched 89 innings, ERA at 4.15. Not a ton of strikeouts, just 60. There's the arsenal for him. Sweeper, sinker, cutter, change, and four seam. 77% first pitch strike rate his last two games. That is filling it up. His sweeper is his best pitch, and you saw that as the top pitch in his arsenal. So he's more of a crafty guy. As mentioned, not going to strike you out, just trying to live off the barrel and limit hard contact.
All right, he's ready to go, and so is Jock Peterson. Peterson's been a real threat as a leadoff man to start games, and he takes strike one from Fetty. Those numbers last 18 games for Peterson. Takes very high here, 1-1. It's been a heck of a bounce back year for Jock. And once the Rangers slotted him in that top spot on the order, that's when things really seem to start clicking for him. Gets ahead here, 2-1. He gives him very real power in that leadoff spot. 16 home runs this year. 2-1 pitch, and that's lifted deep out to right. That one's got a shot. It's gone. Jock Peterson with his 17th home run of the year. So the Rangers strike first. That's a 5th time this year that he's led off a game with a home run.
If you watch Jock enough, you would think that he is a big-time power guy that's trying to pull everything. But as we've seen him this year, he is a complete hitter. The power is in there, but he can go to the opposite field. He hits all types of pitches. And after the weekend that the Rangers just had in Atlanta facing a tough Braves team, that's a big statement with DeGrom being resilient in the first, and then Peterson coming out of the chute hitting one out of the yard. Big swing right here from Jock, getting the head out. Yeah, early in the season, I would have questioned whether that ball was going to carry out of the yard. I feel like it's been better here the last month or so. Yeah. You get one up in the air, especially in that gap or anywhere in right field, it's carrying.
Now the 1-strike pitch to Langford, and he shoots that out over first. That drops in for a base hit. And the leadoff home run, the single by Langford. Really good start here tonight against Fetty.
Yeah, great sign. You see his fingers on the side of the baseball. That's a cutter. That moves a ton off the plate. Langford stays right on it. Just a sign of a stay small type of approach. When Wyatt's pulling homers like he did yesterday and then just slapping singles the other way, using the whole field, that's a good sign for him.
And he's running on the first pitch. It's a strike. The throw to second. Not even close. A stolen base for Langford, his 7th of the year.
Well, Teal was not going to have a chance back there. Wyatt got a huge jump. Almost could have gone in standing up.
An aggressive start to this one. One strike pitch to Young, and he held up. 1-1. The Rangers in that series in Atlanta, when they got runners into scoring position, actually executed pretty well. 10 for 26. Base hit here would add another Rangers run. That's fouled away. One and two on Josh. How about that home average of 374 for Young? He has really enjoyed hitting at home. Takes low, 2-2.
This is a situation that favors him also. Obviously, you're battling with 2 strikes, but then again, he's done great with 2 strikes this season. Here's what they've done since July 1st with runners in scoring position, but Young has such a good opposite field approach. Runner on second, nobody out. And that's what you do as a pitcher to try to combat that situation. You try to run your sinker in so that you get a full side ground ball and Langford can't advance to third. But anything out over the plate, and that's pretty much what Josh Young is going to try to look for here. He's shooting it the other way at the very least to get Langford to third.
2-2. Strike 3 called, and Young a little disappointed, didn't want to challenge. Rangers have already lost 1 challenge. It's a strikeout.
Right at the top of the zone. It looks like it is in the box. So at 94 miles an hour, Young maybe thought it was slightly up or slightly out.
So now Nimmo. Oh, he was really late on that sweeper.
Toughest pitch to hit is a breaking ball that doesn't really break. Yeah, you see the spin out of the hand and you anticipate the break, and it just doesn't happen.
Upstairs, 1-1. Nimmo on 9 home runs so far this year. Average at 263. Walks a good deal. Is very high on base. Runner going. Pitches a strike. Throw to third. And they don't get him. Langford gets his foot in there in front of the tag. His 2nd stolen base of the inning. And the White Sox want a challenge. Will Venable signaling that they'd rather send this one back to New York.
Well, it looked like Langford beat it. I wonder somewhere in the process if he popped up and came off the bag.
Chicago is shouting to safe call at third.
I think they're gonna get this one. Oh, Teal knew it. And that's just barely, by the way. I mean, I think I saw the glove rumple the pant leg just a little bit right.
I see what you're saying.
After review, the call on the Phillies overturned the runners out. Chicago is retaining their challenge.
Yeah, right there. Okay. Well, that is close, but they did get him. Fans don't like it. Caught stealing. First time this year that Langford's been caught. So the base is now empty for Nimmo. And he smacks that foul. So the leadoff homer by Peterson. Langford the single, the steal of second. Looked for a moment there like he had a steal of third as well. But that changes the inning in a pretty profound way. That's low. 2-2. certainly signals, though, that the Rangers intend to be aggressive today against Fetty.
And I do like it. You know, the difficult thing there is with the left-handed hitter up. You know, Teal's got a wide open throwing lane. If it was a right-handed hitter, Langford probably would have been safe.
There's 2-2, and that's fouled off. Well, Fetty, his 20th pitch of the inning, misses, and it's a full count. So Nimmo's done a good job here of not only getting himself into a good position in the count, but he will see a 9th pitch. So putting some mileage on Fetty. And fouls off another one. Well, White Sox did plenty of that in their half of the first inning. Rangers with 5 fouls this inning against Fetty. And you know, you could say like, oh yeah, sure, the fans, that's where they want to come out and see foul balls, right? When I was a kid, that's literally, that was maybe the top thing I wanted in a game was a foul ball. Yeah, hit all the foul balls you can. Maybe want to get my way. 3-2 pitch. And that's turned foul. Not that kind of a foul ball. Doesn't do me any good sitting in the second deck. So here we go with the 11th pitch to Nimmo. And he swings and misses. So Fetty strikes him out. Gets 2 strikeouts in the inning of the caught stealing. But the Rangers, they get on the board first. Jock Peterson, another leadoff home run, his 5th of the year. And the Rangers have the early 1-0 lead.
Let's check out our Ford leaderboard. Highest strikeout rate in majors this season. Jacob deGrom right there at number 2, 30.4%. Gets a lot of swing and miss, a lot of strikeouts. I mean, are we really going to even compare anybody to Jacob Misiorowski? I mean, he is on another planet this season, just throwing fastballs in excess of 100 miles an hour. So I'd say what Jacob is doing is pretty special.
Jumps ahead here, 0-2. Well, you know, what he's doing is pretty special, especially at 38 years old. It's just kind of incredible, really. Teal leading it off in this second inning. And he lays off that one. A little up and out.
They reported a strikeout at 100 miles an hour last inning. I mean, to be able to throw with this type of velocity. We talked about it with Chris Sale the other day in Atlanta, throwing upper 90s.
1-2 pitch, and Teal gets underneath it, sends it out to left field. That'll chase Langford back several steps. He makes the catch, 1 away. Well, deGrom, who knows? Got a ways to go in this one today, but the fact that he navigated that first inning without allowing a run may well end up being a big part of the story tonight, especially after they got first and second, nobody out, or rather a second and third, nobody out. This one's upstairs to Montgomery.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how quickly things can change, because he was about 17, 18 pitches in, had not recorded an out yet. White Sox hitters were battling, and then a matter of about 6 pitches, he got 3 outs.
Well, and it just put that first inning funk behind him, and it kind of dogged him for the first half of the season. It's fouled back. 2-2 on Braden Montgomery now. DeGrom letting that clock wind down. Boy, he got it right down to the nub. There's a swing and a miss, 2-2. At some point there, and this might happen 5 times a year, that I would be conscious of the clock and look at it. But I looked out to the clock, my goodness. All you have to do is start moving before that thing expires, and he waited right to the very, very end of it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And deals to Montgomery. That's fouled away. It's a White Sox team with a 1-game lead currently in the Central Division. It's just an incredible story what they've been able to do on the south side. Check swing, or was it? It was a check swing. 3-2. There you see the standings in the Central Division. Guardians 1 back, Twins 4 out, and then it's the surging Tigers at 6.5. 3-2 pitch, bounce right side. Lopez out there into short right field, throws out Montgomery. 2 away. What's amazing really with the White Sox is, you know, they're coming off a 100-loss season. That would be amazing. They say, well, the year before was kind of a historic bad year. They won 41 games. Okay, yeah, so back-to-back really bad years. That is kind of amazing. And then you flip the page one more time, you're like, oh my God, they lost over 100 games 3 years in a row. And now suddenly they're a first-place team? That is an amazing story. Never, you just don't see that kind of a turnaround.
And that is the blueprint, right? Like if you're going to lose 100 games, 3 straight seasons, you're going to get some high draft picks. You're going to have a chance to make some trades. And so the hope is that all of your young guys start to click at the same time, because you're going to bring them up. Maybe some of them are going to work out, some aren't. But for the most part, these guys have been good players and they're contributing. You don't see these type of contributions in the transition from the minor leagues to the major leagues this quickly for the most part.
Will Venable pictured. Former Rangers bench coach under Bruce Bochy. Now in his 2nd year at the helm in Chicago. And that's a pretty nice turnaround in his 2nd year. The 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Tristan Peters fooled badly on the curveball. That's his 2nd of the day for DeGrom.
Looking pretty good here early on. He's got everything working. Peters out in front with the curveball. Rangers come to bat in the 2nd.
Well, today is still a little early in the season for you really to be scoreboard watching and keeping your eye on the standings when it comes to a playoff race. But when it comes to whether a team is going to be in or out at the trade deadline on August 3rd, today is crunch time. Chris Young spoke to the media today ahead of that deadline, and he said the next 2 weeks are largely going to decide whether or not this team is in or out. He did say Corey Seager is a big question mark at the moment when it comes to evaluating this team's potential. And I think if they had to make a decision today, guys, it would be really tough just because of the parity in the American League. And Chris Young did agree with that. But 2 weeks of winning or 2 weeks of losing could make that decision much clearer.
And you would love to see him not only say play just a little over 500 to really put their foot on the gas pedal and just play some great baseball over the next few weeks to make a really defining, I guess, showing the front office where they are and what they should do.
Heck, any team in the American League, if they had a really solid 2-week stretch, well, they might just run away with the thing because everybody continues to bump around right near 500. And there's a swing and a miss by Jake Berger. He strikes out. That's 3 straight punch outs for Fetty. 1 away here in the 2nd.
I was trying to think back. Jared and I were talking about it on the pregame show today, and I feel like, especially during my Rangers career, it was pretty well known whether we were in it and we were going to be an obvious buyer or an obvious seller. I think 2009 was the one exception, and there still weren't a lot. I forgot the amount of playoff teams that were in it in 2009, but Roy Halladay was the big name. We wanted him. I think he had a no trade clause, and we were on his no trade list, so it probably wasn't going to happen anyway. And then sure enough, in 2010, that's when the Cliff Lee trade happened.
When you find out that somebody's, your team is on a guy's no trade list, are there ever guys who just reach out and say, hey man, what's going on there? You should come play with us.
I'm sure there are, because there's got to be a player or two on each team that has a network that knows that other guy. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that there is such a thing. I'm sure it has been done before, but yeah. And I was reading a good article.
Duran shoots that out into left field. A diving effort by Antonacci, and that one rolls to the wall. Duran will walk into second with a double. 17th double of the year.
Well, Zeke has done damage against breaking balls this year. This isn't necessarily a breaking ball. It's actually a cutter. So you could kind of compare that to a slider. Great effort out in left field by Antonacci. Peters, a really good defensive center fielder. He's there to back him up. You see that Antonacci misses it by a matter of inches. But Zeke just continues some consistency, especially with the bat, especially when it comes to extra base hits.
Well, Carter, and he fouls off strike one.
But the article referenced some quotes from Theo Epstein and was talking about I thought it was a really good awareness, understanding not only what a trade does for your team on the field, but what it does for morale and how it just gets guys fired up, because your job as a player is to win games, to produce results, and to put yourself in a position, to put the front office in a position to make those moves. And the front office knows that it's their job to do what they can to make the team better.
All right, so I want to take a slightly different angle on that very same thing. So the White Sox are a great example of this. They started the year off, or whatever it was, 6-13. I think they had the worst record going in baseball. And it looked like, oh hum, just another one of these miserable years ahead for the White Sox. And then they turned it around. And, Venable told me today before the game that during spring training, they came in, all these guys, and they let him know, they're like, we're going to win the division. And he was like, okay, all right, okay. Listen, won 60 games last year. Let's see, let's talk about the division. And they said, is to a man, they felt like it was a winnable division. He said, okay, well, let's start with the basics, right? Let's start with, I need you guys to do a couple of things for me. You're going to have to be fundamentally sound. We're going to have to make sure that we execute on these types of things to perfection this year. Let's focus on that. If we do that, and one other thing or so, I will support everything, all your dreams, and we'll get there. Carter bounces this one through right side. That's a base hit. Duran takes a turnaround third. Here he comes. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Duran scores from second on the Carter base hit. And the Rangers are up 2-0.
Evan Carter's bat is heating up recently. This is a big at bat for him. Zeke on second. He's in scoring position. Rangers just doing a good job of taking each at bat inning by inning. What a great slide by Zeke. Just getting that hand in there right before the tag. I mean, it helped the Rangers that he got on second early on. Antonacci playing that ball in left field very aggressively. So he was on the pond for Carter. Carter does his work.
Zeke. Look at Teal's foot there, that left foot. I don't know if it's the the ankle or the knee, but it looked like he twisted that thing up enough, like it is causing him some pain all along that left side. Oh yeah, that does not look good. And they're going to have to take Teal off the field. So the White Sox will get a new catcher. It's funny because to the naked eye, it doesn't look that bad, but something caught, a spike caught or something, and he really tweaked something.
We'll get another look here. No, you're right. It really doesn't look that bad. I guess it just goes to show you something can happen on the inside. Just that looks awkward right there. The way that he's sitting on that knee and just putting some stress on there. You see his face, so he felt something.
Oh, meanwhile, look at Fetty coming off the mound. He takes that weird step and his ankle rolls. Goodness. So they're taking Teal straight into the clubhouse. And Drew Romo getting the equipment on, and he'll be coming on. And there you see it, Drew Romo. So he'll take over behind the plate for the White Sox. Wow, that's a weird one. Rangers up 2-0.
It's a weird one, and one that, like, there's probably a phone ringing in AAA right now for the White Sox, because that doesn't look good when you can't even walk off the field on your own power.
Okay, so Romo, maybe he'll get a chance to receive a few here. All right, while he does that, that allows us to finish my question, which is, so this team, kind of young, unproven, they seem to have this enthusiastic chip on their shoulder about winning it all, and it's Venable says it's just a great group. They believe in each other. They fight for each other. So they would want to make a move, but at the same time, there's probably a little concern about messing with that chemistry that is making this team good. So what about that part of it?
So I don't know if you're going to factor chemistry into it too much, right? Like, you can add guys. You always want to make yourself better. What I would be hesitant to do is compromise. I haven't dug in and gotten an understanding of where their farm system is, but usually you're not going to make a big trade in the first year of showing yourself to be competitive, right? So I'm going to point to a few things. One is they're 8th in the major leagues this year in blown lead losses. So that's not a good sign going into the later part of the season, knowing that it's a young team. You could go out and get some bullpen pieces. Maybe that could help, right? But it's also an offense, even though they have some power, they strike out a good amount. There's no way, like, you can add all these up as much as you want to, but that's why it's so hard to be a general manager, a president of baseball operations, because you have to make big decisions that could alter the future of your franchise.
Yeah. It seems straightforward. Find somebody to make your team better, and yet, if you don't mind, not at the expense of the mix of personalities that seems to be working right now. Here's Lopez, and Nicky takes outside, ball 1.
And we live, another thing that article mentioned is how, teams are equally valuing their own players and their prospects, and so it's hard to know if and when to make the right decision. But there was also another part of it, another factor, and I forgot who said it, but it was talking about being aggressive. That the executive was, and he said, if not now, then when?
Right.
But I think for me, just knowing what the White Sox are coming off of and expecting this to be a good run, to be the beginning of some successful times on the south side of Chicago, I would probably not do too much to alter the team right now. But that's me.
Yeah, listen. That's what, again, to be devil's advocate, that's what Baltimore's been saying for a while, right?
That's true.
Like it can be a trap.
It's hard.
Necky, a former White Sox, he was with Chicago in 2024. And he takes outside 2-2. Necky batting 9th today. He was popular when he was with the Sox in 24. Very popular here. It's been a game changer for this Rangers team, and Carter rushed back into first base. So Fetty obviously keeping an eye on Carter. We saw Langford running on him last inning. Well, Carter try and take off. There he goes, a swing and a miss. It doesn't matter. Lopez strikes out and the inning is done. Well, the Rangers, they had a run in the second inning. Evan Carter with that big RBI single to right field. Duran scoring from second makes it 2-0. Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers, and by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Chevy drives. Well, here we go. Third inning. And DeGrom's first offering. That one's lifted way out there into left field, and Langford will chase it down. We're out number one. So Chase Meidroth turned back quickly, and it turns the lineup over now. And Anachi, what he's doing there behind the umpire, it almost looked like he was scratching something in the dirt. I'm sure there's no way that's the case. Anyway, he walked in the first. No, maybe it was. Huh. Curious. You baseball players, man, what a weird lot.
I got nothing. I
mean, that is crazy. But, you know, everybody's got little superstitions or whatever, little totems that keep their brains all intact, because it is more than anything else, this game, it'll just mess with your brain. It's in there for a strike. 0-2. So second time around now, and we'll see if the White Sox show any interest in changing their approach, or if DeGrom goes about it any differently. That's low, 1-2, and he didn't look happy about it. White Sox do throw a lot of left-handed hitters at these righty pitchers. Man, that one just misses the side door. 2-2.
But the side door or the back door?
It is. Depends. It seems like the side door of my garage, which I guess I would consider kind of a back door. 2-2. Fouled away. Because you always call it a backdoor curveball,
right?
Sure seems like the side door to me.
It's valid.
And the back door would be really tricky, it seems like. 2-2, and that is fouled into the dirt. Because right over the plate, right? You're just walking through the front door.
Mm-hmm. So the back door would have to, like,
it'd have to be Bugs Bunny curveball.
It would have to be like a boomerang.
Yeah.
That would come in from behind the umpire and the catcher, and I guess Diaz would have to turn around and catch it from the backside.
He would. Because it is,
which would never be a strike.
Would be a most unusual play. Now, once again, one of these White Sox hitters spoiling pitches and extending and at bat. It'll be an 8th pitch forthcoming for Antonacci. 2-2, and he bounces that one down the first baseline foul. Well, DeGrom has turned back, 5 in a row. I mean, if you count the fielder's choice, it's 7 in a row. Well, I think you kind of have to, right? So yeah, more like 7 straight. 2-2 pitch, and that's on the ground left side, and that's going to be a hit. Well, that's amazing. You had Young way over there, and Duran not that far away either. That is the tightest of windows that he snuck that in.
In the first game that I've ever really watched Sam Antonacci, I like him, and he is properly placed as a leadoff hitter. Sees a ton of pitches. He's cut out of the mold of a Luis Arraez type of player, where he hits any pitch in any part of the strike zone. He's got a little power. He can do some things with the bat.
Well, he's seen 17 pitches in his first 2 plate appearances. That in and of itself would be kind of impressive. He has walked and reached on an infield hit. Murakami at the left side, and okay, didn't swing. Pitch itself is pretty close.
Yeah, he held up.
There's a swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. What an addition this guy has been, though. A lot of times teams will go acquire a really good player from Japan in hopes that it translates. Sometimes anticipating that it may take a year or two. He did not with Murakami. He immediately got it. 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. He strikes out, 2 away.
I guess there's maybe a difference between Antonacci and Murakami. Antonacci, a guy who sees a lot of pitches, doesn't swing and miss very much. Murakami, you throw the right pitch in the right spot, you will get the whiff. DeGrom does it this time with the elevated heater.
It's Vargas to the plate. And he takes just off the outside corner.
Or just on the outside corner.
Yeah, could have been challenged. A little bit tight. 2-0. DeGrom, he's well over 50 pitches, 54 pitches so far. He has the 3 strikeouts. These White Sox are pesky. That one catches the bottom of the strike zone. Vargas doesn't necessarily agree.
Looked a little below, but once again he could challenge if he wanted to. It's almost like did he hear him correctly?
That one's lined over third. A base hit by Vargas. Antonacci into third base. They will wave him. The throw comes back toward the diamond, but missed every cutoff man available, and so no play at the plate. Antonacci scoring all the way from first on the Vargas double, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, these White Sox are dangerous in the middle of their lineup. You got the top 4 hitters that can really do some things, driving in runs. You've got Vargas with 60 RBIs now on the season.
A good base running by Antonacci.
And you had mentioned the missed cutoff man. We're watching that play unfold. It would have been bang bang at the plate. I don't know if they would have had him, even had Langford hit Zeke in the chest I don't know. That's a tough one. You get a double down the line with 2 outs, and you know, as a base runner at first.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I think you get.
I think he would have had him.
Yeah, you get Zeke. My thing is, I just always want Duran to have the chance because he is electric. Yeah, I think he's got a shot at it.
No, I retract my statement. Watching it in real time is a little different. And then you see the replay. You see where the base runner was. I mean, Zeke he's got a great arm. He's in a place where that ball is going to get to Diaz in a hurry.
So 0-2 on Montgomery. And that's fouled back.
I guess if anything, it's a good example of how, as a third base coach, you want to be aggressive at times because there's no guarantee, even at the big league level, that the cut and relay situation is going to work the way it's supposed to.
So Jerschley down there at third, making the right call. 0-2. It's ball 1. Brown just kind of chuckling to himself. Another long inning for him. 23rd pitch of the inning. Here it is. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out Montgomery. So his 4th strikeout of the ball game. He gets through the inning. The White Sox plate a run, however. We've played 2.5 so far tonight. Opening game of this series, the Rangers up 2-1. Well, as you've probably heard, there's a new way to stream Rangers baseball. The Rangers made the move to Buzzer. Now available in the App Store, Google Play Store, Apple TV, Fire TV, and Chromecast. More to come. All of it done really for the fans here. As previously subscribed to watch Rangers games on the former direct-to-consumer platform, you can now switch over with no additional charge. Now, if you've been watching on DirecTV, Spectrum, Fubo, or any of the others out there who already have RSN, you'll be able to keep watching as you have all season. But we encourage you to check it out. Buzzer. Again, for those who had already been subscribing, your account just transfers right over. And I think folks are hopefully getting used to the operation of the new app and how it works. And it's great to have you along. Hope it's working out. Is a 1-strike pitch to Jock Peterson, fouled away. Obviously not the type of thing the Rangers wanted to be dealing with in the middle of a season, but one of those unfortunate necessities. Peterson, Langford, and Young here as Fenny misses low. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jock. He homered in the first. And that's strike 3 called. It was close, but Peterson didn't disagree. 1 away.
Fastball that's got some movement, kind of a ride back, minimally anyway. And Fetty, a bunch of his strikeouts have been like this, just top inside part of the plate.
Been pretty effective so far. 5 strikeouts. Here's a pop-up in the foul ground, and Murakami makes the catch. 2 out. How about a message now from Baylor's Scott and White Health?
Oh.
All right, Josh Young now. Fenny gets a couple of quick outs. We'll see if Young may be taking on the first pitch. That one really wasn't all that much of a challenge. And that's low. 2-0. Well, we've seen a couple of hitters today pause, maybe even gripe a little bit about a call that didn't go their way. That one's right in there, 2-1, but not challenge. Right, they just kind of let it go, and then we've noticed that had they challenged, might have been able to overturn it. 2-1. Young down the right side. That one heading toward the corner and into foul ground. A nice grab made down there by Montgomery. And that completes a 9-pitch inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Rangers in their half of the third. Fourth inning coming up tonight at Arlington. It's 2-1. Well, this is an interesting one here. Our What's on Tap brought to you by St. Arnold Lawnmower, a beer for everyone. Here's what's coming up for the Rangers. You have this series against the White Sox, first place in the Central. Then come the Mariners, right now a half game back of the Rangers. Then we'll go to Tampa Bay. They're the best team in the East. And then finally wrap it up with Houston. Yikes, that's quite a run into the trade deadline. The Rangers, as Laura was talking about earlier, Chris Young will have a very good idea, you would gather, at the end of that stretch as to who this team is. They're playing a lot of good teams, critical time of year. It's kind of, you might say, put up or shut up time.
You're taking it one game at a time. This White Sox team is really good. I'm just really confused on who the Mariners really are in 2026. Super talented. They can really pitch. I guess you could even, if you're pointing out one player, who is Cal Raleigh? Is he, I mean, you're looking at a 60 home run hitter or a guy that's, what is he hitting this year, about 160? Yeah. So he's obviously somewhere in between. He's a good switch hitting catcher, but that's a big reason why they had such a good season last year. So that'll be a fun series. And then Tampa, even though they just got swept by Boston, they're playing great baseball this season. They're always dangerous, especially in Tampa.
Well, how would you like to be playing Boston right now?
I wouldn't.
I mean, the 27 Yankees might not want to be playing them right now. 3-2 and a chopper second base. Lopez right there for it. And throws out Benintendi, one away. 13 straight for the Red Sox, who basically were left for dead but a couple of weeks ago, and they have stormed back. They are now 2 games over 500 going into play today, and suddenly 6 back of Tampa Bay with a long way to go. And now the first pitch here to Romo, a breaking ball in there, strike 1. Boston right now in the 8th inning at home with Baltimore, another hot team. They've won 7 in a row. That game predictably 5-5 in the 8th inning. So 2 red hot teams, and neither wants to see their run come to an end. Bennett, or rather Romo pops this one up down the left field line, and Young back there makes the catch. 2 down. Our Papa John's key ingredients. Like this, White Sox rookies this year, they have combined to lead baseball in hits, runs, extra base hits, RBIs. I've had 13 players make their major league debut this year. But everything's hitting. You know what I mean? It's like, it just doesn't matter who they ask to step up. Everybody's winning. The rising tide, I guess.
Well, how about this guy? Remember his first game in the big leagues a little while back? Walk-off homer in his first game. Yeah, just a trend. Whatever one of these young players you're putting in there, they're having success.
Well, this ball hit well center field, but not going to carry for him. Carter pockets that one, and for DeGrom, A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. So both pitchers may be settling in a little bit. We'll head to the 5th inning, or rather bottom of the 4th even. Let's get too far ahead. Jacob deGrom pitching well. Works with a 2-1 lead. Well, back here in Arlington tonight. Fly over parts of the Metroplex. Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Big game, big series against the White Sox. We were just talking about how these White Sox very much in a pennant race. They lead the American League Central by a game. Rangers a half-game lead in the West. And we are basically inside the 2 weeks now until the trade deadline, which is August 3rd. That's as late a trade deadline as I can remember. That's inside. 2-0. Pardon me. Binoculars. Nimmo struck out in the 1st inning. And he hits this one on the ground, second base. Plenty of time for my drop. And there's one away. All right, we've got a moment here for Hyundai.
A car that sees what you can't, how it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
All right, here comes Jake Berger. Berger struck out in the 2nd, 0 for 1. Murph, I was mentioning last inning that we've seen some hitters take some close pitches and not challenge, and maybe even be a little frustrated with it. Berger hammers that out to left. Antonacci goes back and makes the catch. And that's a hard 2nd out. We'll bring up Duran. So I want to run some numbers by you and have you help me make sense of it. Umpires in the 1st half missed 14,441 pitches. So I just misidentified a ball or a strike 14,400 times. Now, players challenged 6,000 pitches in the 1st half, 6,040 to be real technical about it, and they were correct. They had 3,217 of those overturned, so they were right more than they were wrong, but they were wrong technically on 2,800 challenges there, 2,823. But that also means, though, that if they challenged 6,000 and there were 14,000 missed, there were 11,000 pitches that they did not challenge one way or the other. You add those 11,000 plus to the 3,000 or so that they missed on. You could argue that players missed 14,047 pitches. I mean, that's almost a dead heat. Umpires missed 14,000, players missed 14,000. Does that seem fair? Is that, am I extrapolating too much with that?
First of all, I need a cup of coffee.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I should have just made all those round numbers.
I guess getting back to maybe something that we touched on over the weekend, that the point of ABS wasn't to, you know, just pick apart the strike zone in every single call. It's more for the high leverage call, right? So maybe we can talk more.
The big moment.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, how about an 8-pitch inning right there for Fetty? Another 1, 2, 3. He's retired 8 in a row. It remains a 1-run game. It's our 5th inning, presented by your Dallas-Fort Worth Audi dealers. Yeah. Hot outside these days. Really nice to have that roof closed. 74 degrees inside. When we started tonight, it was 99 outside. But, you know, at this point of the evening, it's 8:30-ish. It's only 95. Here's a swing and a fly ball. Deep out to right field. And that one is off the wall. Nimmo takes it on a hop. He'll hustle it back in. Tristan Peters with a leadoff double.
He's looking first pitch heater. He gets it. It's actually on the outside part of the plate. Instead of trying to go with it, he's driving to the left center gap. I mean, he pulls this thing to the right center gap. He gets the head out. Just misses a homer by a few feet.
Boy, that one that barely stayed in. Maidroth now the 8th place hitter, and he takes strike one. Chase Maidroth, he flew out on the first pitch he saw in the 3rd inning. Speaking of the first pitch he saw, he swung at 35% of first pitches, these White Sox hitters.
I was thinking about DeGrom and the fact that he's still bringing it in the upper 90s, but the fastball's got hit harder this year. 520 slug against the fastball with 11 homers. You just saw the double. I think the White Sox have 2 doubles tonight. I guess that's the first one on the fastball. But I wonder if the fact that in Major League Baseball today that velocities have gone up, where as Jacob DeGrom used to be an outlier, and so if you were facing him, you knew that you were going to have to catch up with that heat, because it doesn't seem like his fastball is much different than it was, you know, in his peak years. Why is it getting hit harder? We have seen more fastballs in the middle, so yeah, there's mislocation, but I think that's something that high velocity allows you to do.
This one hit up the middle. That's a base hit. Peters rounds 3rd, and he scores. Antonacci's had a good day at the plate. Tries in the tying run. It's 2-2.
He's a good young hitter. Slider first pitch. I guess the positive is that he puts a ball in play early finally, instead of all the pitches that he's milked out of DeGrom in his first 2 at bats. The unfortunate part is that we got ourselves a tie ball game.
5th inning. And a man on for Murakami, who is 1 for 2 today. He doubled in the first. (20 homers, 42 RBIs. Big first year in the major leagues for Murakami. Only Jose Abreu and Jim Thome have hit more home runs in their first 63 games as a White Sox in their career than Murakami. He's been, I think he's exceeded expectations, but recently was sidelined with that hamstring strain and probably hasn't been quite as good since then. He draws a rare walk here, and now the White Sox have a couple of men on base. DeGrom pointing out to his infielders. Meanwhile, his pitching coach Jordan Teagues comes out of the dugout. And we'll get some action in that Rangers bullpen. Maybe a little strategy chat here. So Vargas, he had the RBI double in the 3rd inning. Every time he comes up, I want to say hello, Vargas. The Bizarro Newman. As I recall, there's a swing and a miss. Seinfeld reference. But he seems like kind of a fun guy, actually, this Vargas. Watching him at the All-Star game, and just some of his antics now and again. One of those guys kind of keeps it light, I think, for for some of the other guys on the bench. 1-1 the count. I mentioned earlier they do not hit into many double plays. But that is certainly what DeGrom would love right here. Is a ground ball. There is a ground ball. Third base. Young has it, but his only play will be across the diamond at first, not in time. So everybody's safe. Vargas reaches on the infield hit, and the bases are loaded.
This ball comes off the bat pretty hard, gets down that line. Young has to range to his right, did everything he could, put everything he could on the throw, just doesn't get there in time. Vargas runs well enough to beat it out.
So big spot now, bases loaded, 1 out, and Colson Montgomery the batter. And he'll take very high, ball 1. Yeah, so you got a guy with really good power. Another left-handed hitter. That's now the 3rd time through the lineup for DeGrom, and this 3rd time through he's gone base hit, walk, infield hit. Two score. Here it is, and that's high, and by a lot. And again, you see DeGrom looking back at the landing spot. Remember, he missed his last start, had that hip impingement, and was fussing about his landing spot in that game on July 7th, his last start. 2-2 now. So it could be as he gets to this stage of the game. Now this next offering will be his 90th of the night, that maybe starting to feel some of that fatigue or whatever in the hip. Got speed at first and third. Murakami at second. A little more of a station-to-station kind of guy. 2-2. And that's low. That's a pretty big offering. The 3-2 fouled. 5th 3-ball count tonight, and it's just another deep and long at bat for a White Sox hitter. And as a group, they have fouled off 20 pitches tonight. Another 3-2. And a swing and a miss. DeGrom got him with a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. Power on power, and DeGrom won that battle.
Well, Montgomery really wanted to swing the bat there. Chases up and out of the strike zone. He's frustrated himself. He knows that he swung at ball 4.
Sixth strikeout of the night for Jacob, his biggest of the evening, and now works to Benintendi. Andrew Benintendi today has popped out and grounded out. Bases still loaded, and that catches the corner. 1-1. It's been stressful all night tonight for Jacob. First inning issued a walk and a double to start things off, and worked out of that second and third base nobody out jam. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2 on Benintendi.
I think DeGrom knows where he is. This is going to be his last hitter of the night. 1-2, he's got the advantage. So he's going to do what he can to bring his best stuff here.
How about that 15 whiffs tonight? The 1-2 and a little amped up. Moves out up high. Yeah, this is, well, it's 96 pitches, and that would be right at about where Schumacher would want to stop him. 96 stressful pitches tonight. Runners everywhere. Big 2-2 pitch. And that one is lined just past first. That's a fair ball. And Karams out into right field. And Anachi has scored. Murakami has scored. Vargas is in. A 3-run double for Benintendi. And the White Sox have the 5-2 lead.
My goodness, this game can change in such a hurry, and this time on one swing of the bat. Big at bat from Benintendi, just keeps it inside of the line with 2 outs. You've got the runners circling the bases, and Benintendi clears them.
Right, just 1 strike away from bringing this crowd to its feet and keeping it a tie game. But that bases clearing double knocks DeGrom out of the game. Rangers into the bullpen in the 5th inning. It's 5-2. Now, White Sox after the Benintendi double. And we have our standard insurance call to the bullpen. Peyton Gray is in.
28 games for Gray this season. His last 3 outings have all been 2/3 of an inning. The 2 before that were exactly an inning. He hasn't gone more than an inning since he went 2 1/3 in late June at Toronto.
Fires that one right in there. 1-1 the count to Romo. Had to come in for Kyle Teal. Injured himself trying to apply a tag at the plate when Duran scored the 2nd run of the game for the Rangers. And so Romo came in to replace him. He is 0 for 1 today. By the way, that double by Benintendi, first hit in his career against DeGrom.
I was thinking about that.
Time for it. There's a ground ball, second base. Lopez had to wait on it, but throws out Romo. The inning is done. But a 4-run inning for the Sox, and they have taken a 5-2 lead tonight.
Well, Eric Fetty is tonight's king of the hill. Good game for him. He went 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. He didn't walk anybody through 64 pitches. You know, he started off a little shaky. Rangers put up 2 runs against him in the first 2 innings, and then he settled down. He was really good. Had a perfect 3rd and then a perfect 4th to end his night.
So interesting. Done after 4. Leaves with a 5-2 lead, and Chris Murphy will be the new pitcher.
Yeah, Fetty hasn't gone deep into games, and it seems like it's a common thing. We saw it yesterday. Evan Carter leading off, and you got Nicky Lopez coming up 2 hitters later, excuse me. So it makes sense for any team to want to play the matchup game, and the White Sox bring in the lefty.
I mean, Fetty, I don't know. He had some longer starts earlier in the year. It's just it's been a weird trajectory for him, because you're right. I mean, they've sort of compressed the outings as the season has gone on. Although 2 starts ago, he threw 89 pitches, went 5 1/3. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. He's out now, and the Rangers get into that pen. And you know, depending on how things go the rest of the way here, you could do enough damage to that pin that it pays dividends in the remaining games of this series.
Yep, for sure.
Carter ahead 2-0 here. Fenny had also retired the final 8 batters he faced. Oh, that's right in there for a strike. Now, Evan had the long at bat in the second inning and delivered the RBI single off Fenny, and now he takes a strike, 2-2. He's gotten some decent opportunities against lefties. Takes out one outside. So full count. I mean, obviously with Carter, he splits time in center field, usually getting the starts against the right-handers. And when a lefty comes in out of the pen, he might be lifted. Pops this up. Left side of the infield. And takes Montgomery out there for the catch. One away. It's Elias Diaz now. Diaz flew out to left field in the second inning. Yep, and that's strike one. So tonight the Rangers, even though they scored first, they've been very good when scoring first. 38-11 this year when they get the first run of the game. If they're going to win this game and continue that general trend, they're going to have to do it by coming back late here against these White Sox. It's outside, 1-1.
Seems like the multi-run innings have been getting them here lately.
Boy, yeah, that right after the All-Star break, man, because that was a big story in Atlanta. Diaz shoots this out to right field, but Montgomery able to charge in and make the grab. 2 away. Yeah, if you want to consider a big inning, let's say, what do you think? 3 runs?
3 or more.
Yeah. And the opener in Atlanta, the Braves did that in 3 different innings. They did it again on Saturday. And in Sunday's game, they didn't have a 3-run inning, but they had 3 different innings of 2 runs each. So yeah, the big innings have been a problem. Lopez struck out in the second. He's 0 for 1, and he hits this one on the ground right up the middle. My drop is there, and it's another 1-2-3. 11 straight Rangers have been retired in this one tonight. We've played 5 innings so far. White Sox with a 5-2 lead. Well, the Texas Rangers, in partnership with American Airlines, wants to honor our nation's heroes through the Faces of Freedom program. So we want to hear your story or that of someone you know who showed tremendous courage, strength, and patriotism in the line of duty. If selected, recipients will receive 4 VIP tickets to a Rangers home game and a trip for 2 to Washington, D.C. later in November with other recognized Faces of Freedom participants. And hopefully you got that QR code. That's the way to get on there and nominate someone today. 5-2 White Sox on top, and Braden Montgomery will lead things off in the 6th.